POV. You look outside at 3:33 a.m. and it's staring back. I was lying in my bed trying to get some sleep when I heard a knock. I opened my eyes and turned to look at the clock. It read 3:33 a.m. Whoever it is, they have terrible timing. I got up out of bed and walked over to the window to peer out into the darkness. That's when I saw it. A face pressed against the glass, staring straight back at me. I screamed and fell backwards onto my bed. What was that? Was I going crazy? I tried to tell myself it was just a trick of the light, but what if it wasn't? The face was still there, its eyes gleaming in the darkness like two green marbles. I couldn't make out any details because it was too dark, but I could feel its gaze boring into me. As soon as I realized that I was being watched, a wave of fear washed over me. I knew I should call the police, but my hands were shaking so badly that I couldn't dial 911. What would I even tell them? There's a face outside my window staring at me. They'd probably just laugh and hang up. Or maybe they'd put me in jail for wasting their time. The face outside the window seemed to mock me, its eyes burning into my skull. I wanted to scream, to make as much noise as possible, but I couldn't. My throat was hoarse from terror. The face suddenly moved, pressing its nose against the glass. Its nostrils flared as if it were breathing. Then it did something that made my blood run cold. It traced a finger across the glass, moving in slow motion towards me. As the seconds ticked by, the finger drew closer and closer until it was within reach of my face. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for whatever was to come. But the touch never came. I peeked through one eye and then the other. The face was gone, and the window was clear. Had I imagined the whole thing? Maybe I had. After all, it was 3:33 a.m. and I was tired. I told myself it was just a dream. I told myself that nothing had happened, and for a moment I actually believed it. But then I heard a scratching sound and I turned back to the window. The face was back and it was grinning at me. This time, I could see its mouth, its teeth like shards of glass in the darkness. The face spoke, its voice a raspy whisper. "Hello, I've been waiting for you." I stumbled backwards, knocking over a chair. The face continued to stare at me, its grin widening. "You can't hide from me forever," it said. "I'll find you." Then it vanished. This can't be happening, I thought. I'm going crazy. I need to get out of here. I ran out of the room and down the hallway. I didn't know where I was going, but I just kept running until I burst out the front door and onto the street. I looked back at the house. The windows were dark and silent. I told myself that whatever was in that house was gone, that it couldn't hurt me anymore. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. I started walking away from the house, trying to put some distance between myself and whatever lurked inside. The streetlights flickered overhead, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch and distort with every step I took. The face, its eyes boring into me from the darkness. I quickened my pace, my heart pounding in my chest. I could feel its gaze following me like a predator stalking its prey. As I rounded a corner, I saw a group of people standing in front of a brightly lit convenience store. I broke into a run, desperate for help, for someone to tell me that everything was okay. But as I got closer, I could see that the people weren't people at all. They were mannequins, their glassy eyes staring vacantly into the abyss. The relief I had felt at seeing other humans quickly evaporated, replaced by a crushing realization that I was alone. I was completely alone in this world. And then I heard it again, the scratching sound. I spun around to see the face pressed against the glass window of the convenience store. It was close enough now that I could see the details. The skin around its eyes was stretched taut, revealing the whites. Its lips were pulled back, exposing rows upon rows of sharp teeth. But it wasn't the face that scared me the most. It was what was behind it. The face turned slightly, revealing the darkness that lay beyond the window. And in that darkness, I saw something that made my blood run cold. A hand reached out from the shadows, its fingers long and skeletal. The face grinned, its eyes gleaming with amusement. "Found you," it whispered. Before I could react, the hand shot forward and grabbed my ankle. I screamed and tried to pull away, but it was no use. The grip was like iron. I looked down to see the hand dragging me towards the open door. The face was gone, but I could hear it laughing, its voice echoing in my ears. The hand pulled me closer, and I could see more hands, all reaching out for me. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I struggled against the invisible force that was pulling me towards the darkness. But it was no use. I was being dragged inside. The last thing I remember is the smell, the stench of decay and death. Then everything went black. When I woke up, I was lying on the ground outside the convenience store. The sun was shining and birds were singing. Had it all been a dream? I looked down at my ankle where the hand had grabbed me. There were no marks, no scratches, nothing. I told myself it was all in my head. I tried to convince myself that nothing had happened. But then I saw it. On the sidewalk in front of the convenience store there was a single footprint, a handprint. I reached out and touched it. It was cold, hard, and real. As I stood there staring at the print, I knew that what I had experienced was real too. Whatever had taken me was still out there, and I couldn't help but wonder when it would come back for me. I spent the next few days in a state of constant fear. I didn't sleep, ate, or even left my house. All I did was watch the clock, waiting for 3:33 a.m. when the face would return. But it never did. Maybe it had given up on me. Maybe it had decided that I wasn't worth the effort. Or maybe it was just waiting for me to let my guard down. One night, I heard a knock at the door. I jumped and tried to hide, but it was too late. The face was there, staring at me with its soulless eyes. "You can't hide from me forever," it rasped. "I always find my prey." Then it lunged. What happens next? Find out in the next part. To be continued.